Hello, crafty friends. Creative Juice by Lonnie with you on Monday. We are in the middle of our June Designer Series paper series, trying to help you become more confident with using your Stampin' Up! Stamps, ink, and paper. Give you a little creative confidence. So today I'm going to help you figure out how to use a piece of 6x6 Designer Series paper to get 4 backgrounds on a card. Okay, on 4 different cards, I should say. 4 backgrounds on a card. And I've decided to use today the So Refreshing stamp set that is brand new, the bundle. It comes with your photopolymer stamps and the coordinating dies. So here you go. There's your dies and your stamps. And the, let's see, is this called Glorious Gingham Designer Series paper. So you've got a large gingham kind of print on one side that is diagonal, and a small gingham print on the other side, which is up and down, top and bottom, back and forth, side to side. And I want to use the big gingham today. I just love these colors. In fact, I've used colors from this idea, this pack of paper for my stamps as well. So we're going to be using the Pretty Peacock piece today, but I'm also using the Lemon Lime Twist and Berry Burst as part of my card. If you're like me, you need a lot of good ideas on ways to use up your paper, and you're going to have such a fun time with this. So you could take a 12 by 12 piece of Designer Series paper, pretty paper, and cut it into 4 pieces. Say hello as you're coming in. I'm going to grab my trimmer and my, yes, here we go. Oh, this was my thing to remind you. Yes, I was going to tell you. I'll remind you that in June, this is why we're doing our Designer Series paper series this month, all about Designer Series paper and crafting with it. Through the end of June, June 30th, most of our Designer Series paper is 15% off, including the Glorious Gingham right there. And there's like 15 different things that you could get for 15% off. You could cut those into 6x6 pieces and do this just as like we're talking about today. Now, in this case, since I know I'm going to use the front, I'm going to turn it over and mark it up on the back. So I'm going to mark every, let me move this away for just a moment. Every bottom right corner towards me, I'm going to mark it at 1.5 inches. So here's 1.5 inches right there at the edge. So I'll mark it. And then I'm going to mark it again. And I got this from Rachel Tessman. She had shared this fantastic idea, a corner angle layer card. So I've marked all 4 sides at 1.5 inches down here in this right-hand corner. Got it? Hello, Carlene. Glad to have you here. And happy to have you share this. If you have crafty friends, please share that with them. So I'm going to use my ruler and just mark from 1.5 inch mark to the other 1.5 inch mark, and turn it and do the same thing on the other. Okay, I got to find it. There it is on the other side. So there we go. We've got those 2 pieces, those 2 marks. Ready to cut it. Bring in your Stampin' Trimmer, and you can line up the lines that you made, that you drew, right with the groove in your trimmer, just like this. We'll use our dark cutter trimmer piece that will cut. The light one only scores, so we'll do the same thing here. Make sure I get it right. We're close. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ready to go. Okay. And they're all the same size, or all the same shape. Look at this. So you've got all those little pieces. That's all you'll need your trimmer for. Well, you will need some pieces, and I have some other pieces here that I've already cut. So a half a sheet of um, thick white, basic white cardstock. Get that right. I like to use the basic white because the thick basic white because it's nice, a nice heavy weight for the bottom of your card. That was just a half a sheet. So 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half at 4.25. Then I have a piece of Pretty Peacock that is 5 1/8 by 4, no, yes, by 3 7/8. I wanted it to be 3/8 inches smaller, just to give it a little more than a regular quarter sheet of cardstock. And then the white that I cut, this is just regular basic white, which is wonderful to stamp on because it's smooth and beautiful. So can you see how that looks there on that? This is just an 1/8 inch smaller, so 5 inches tall by 3 3/4 inches wide. Okay, now you can put your piece of cardstock wherever you want. You may want it up in the top. I know I want mine down in the bottom, so I'm going to do this down here. And you could go ahead and put all 4 of these on and make this. You're going to, if you're making one card, you might as well make 4 cards, especially if you're making birthdays or thank yous, because, or sadly, sympathy cards, because you know that once you send one off, you're going to need another one. So I've got my pieces. So all 4 of my cards are going to be the same. So really quick and easy way to make a bunch of cards. Now, before I glue this on here, I'm actually going to stamp. We're going to stamp our happy birthday sentiment in Berry Burst. You could do it in the same, you could do it in Pretty Peacock, and maybe I will do it in Pretty Peacock, just because I don't think I have anything else that I have stamped on here in Pretty Peacock. So let's bring that in. Pretty Peacock is a returning favorite to our color palette for Stampin' Up. You may still have it from when it was an in color before, but now we're just happy to have it here all the time. So I've got my background, I've got my sentiment. Let's design this. And this is such a fast card. Anybody can do it. Let me give you a little tip on stamping with the So Refreshing stamp set that might help you. Of course, I had to have this because it was, Creative Juice by Lonnie. And look at that. It's got juice. It's got lemonade. So I had to have that. But it's a really fun one to play with. However, getting the little flowers lined up might be a little bit of a challenge for you. So I wanted to give you, I want to give you a hint on how to do it, but I'm trying to find the piece of paper that I was going to stamp on. Oh, here it is, right here. Got it. So you have, this is a 2-step stamp, or 3 steps in this case. You have 2 for the flowers. And I'm going to stamp this outline image first at the top of my strip of cardstock. I'm going to stamp it in full strength with Berry Burst. Bring my ink pad over here so you can see. Now I'm going to stamp the filler image right here. And you want to just tap on your thing or on your ink pad, or you're going to get these little pieces right here, this little smudge on your clear block, which is okay because it's not going to hurt anything here. But in this case, I stamped it I stamped it in my ink pad, and I'm going to stamp it off once and find how it fits right inside. I like the dark piece, the outline first, so I can kind of see where I'm stamping the inside. So there's my filler piece. You can do this in whatever color you would like. Now there is a stem, but it's a little difficult if you're going to cut it out on your cut and emboss machine to get it exactly right. So this is the one time I'm going to tell you to go ahead and cut out this piece first. So I'll take my die. You can see where the stem is going to go, but just position it right on your lower cutting plate. Roll it through. Woohoo, there we go. And when it comes out, here you go. You've got that piece ready for a stem. Now you can bring your stem in. I'm going to use this lemon lime twist, which sometimes is kind of crazy on camera, but it is a pretty, pretty color. And now you can just line it up on the bottom of your stem, and then up here at the top, you'll see that it just fits right around all of the flowers. There you go. Well, hello, Susan from Wisconsin. Happy to have you here with us. So I did that twice. Had two of them somewhere. Somewhere I have two of them. We've got two of them, and I also cut out on my cut and emboss machine. There's two different types of pictures in the set, and I like this one. It does not have a stamp that matches it, but it's kind of fun to cut out of vellum. So I did this out of our vellum cardstock. And I'm going to add a little bit of water in here just by dipping a sponge dauber into my pretty peacock. I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm just going to wipe off a little bit of that and then fill it up with some water like this on the back side of my vellum. So if I'm going to put my flowers in a vase, we went to look for a vase just the other day and it didn't have one, so I used a jar. But if you have a vase or a pitcher, you could use a pitcher. So we're going to put our flowers right into the pitcher. Let's see. Here's my flowers. There's also a few things that are a few dies included in this set that are not, like I said, do not have a coordinating stamp. This pitcher is one of them. This just three little leaves is another one of them. It has some berries and some tiny leaves. And I've used my sponge daubers to add a little bit of color onto all of those as well. So we've got those and those and those. Let's fill up our vase. I don't think I need that anymore, so I can put it away. We're going to put our flowers. It has a little slit right in the top that cuts when you cut it out. I'm going to put my two pieces of flowers right in the vase, one of them taller than the other, like that. This is when, now you may know if you're a paper crafter that working with vellum can be a little bit tricky. There are a couple of tips that you can use. You can use a sponge dauber and sponge a very light layer of adhesive over or wherever you want on your vellum, and it will not show up when you put it onto a piece of paper. But I happen to want this one to stand up off my card. So let's bring in our card and get it started so we can attach everything as needed. So we're going to use some dimensionals, which of course would show up through the vellum. So let's do a couple of easy tricks here. Okay, I'm going to first of all get my flowers where I want it. Here we go, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to add a dimensional where no one will see it. So it can't see a dimensional through your white paper. So I put it right there on the edge of the picture, on the top of the edge of the picture, and it's holding those two flowers together really nicely. I'll put another one right here. Maybe another piece right up here. So I have three of those. Those will kind of hold all of the flowers in place that I need to, but I want another one right down here. So let's get a tiny one or even an edge of your dimensional. Here's our small dimensionals. You could cut your big ones down if you don't have small ones. I'm going to put it right down there. I want to add these little, leaves into my mix right here. So I may put one right there. You could use some glue dots to attach them, or you could just use some adhesive. I don't want to pull this apart though. It's my biggest concern. Let's use, where's my glue dots? I had them out, prepared, ready for this. So let's use a glue dot. Here we go. We'll put a little glue dot right there. And this one, actually I may put a couple of glue dots now that I think about it. I did on the leaves. They're a little fragile, so I'm being careful. Well, we want to be careful. Don't know that I am being careful. All right. Hello, Deborah. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while, too. Okay, this one I want. Actually, I should have done that before I did my dimensional, but it will pull apart. Here we go. And just a couple of little leaves coming out of the top. Now we can put it onto our card, and you could do this with anything, any stamps. You don't have to have this set of stamps, although I do love it. And if you do happen to have a long wish list of things for paper crafting, let me remind you also that June we have a wonderful starter kit offer. You get to choose $155 in Stampin' products for only $99 and join my team. Have a great time starting your own Stampin' story. It's a wonderful time to do that. So here we have our picture and it's all full, but oh, we can see that tiny piece of the dimensional down here. We don't want to see that. So that is why I cut out some berries and some leaves, and I just put them all onto a long string of, in fact, let's go like that, a long string of glue dots so that it would make it easy when I'm making 4 of them, right? We'll just layer them on right like this. Some of them could be behind the picture, going different directions. And maybe one more over here. So you've got 3 little berries. There you go. How easy is that? Again, you could use anything in any image, any stamps you already have. I just wanted to have another sample using this beautiful So Refreshing stamp set. And the strawberries are also cut out of Berry Burst. And I can make 4 of those. So I'll be sharing that on my creativejuicebylani.com later today. I'll have a picture of all 4 of these finished cards. But that is how you can get 4 different backgrounds for 4 different cards out of a 6x6 piece of cards or designer series paper. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And I love this gingham. So that one is on sale. You can order the discounted designer series paper in your starter kit. So that's a way to extend your money even a little bit further. You can start a wonderful hobby or business, whichever you'd like, or if you just want to have a kind of a peek into what it's like being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, now's your chance. There are no obligations to sell, just an opportunity to get your personal stamps and supplies at a discount and kind of check it out to see if that's something that you would like. If you have questions about becoming a demonstrator, pop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer those for you. But I hope you enjoyed that little tip, getting 4 pieces for your backgrounds right like that out of one little piece of cardstock, or out of paper. I want to say cardstock, but it's really paper. Thank you, Deborah. I'm glad you like it. It is a cute card. And I'm sorry that I forgot to put up a banner to let you know, but the So Refreshing bundle I will put that in on my blog as well today. So you can have a click and add it to your cart moment. Okay, we'll see you next Monday. We've got one more designer series papers event to share with you next Monday, the last Monday of June. Then it will be time to do something new in July. We'll see what happens in July. If you have things that you want to see, thank you, Susan. I'm glad you were here from Wisconsin. And Carlene, I'm glad you all liked that Thank you so much. Have a great day and go make something beautiful and share it with someone else. Talk to you later.